The story of the fiery furnace, found in the book of Daniel in the Old Testament, is a remarkable narrative of faith, divine deliverance, and the mysterious fourth man. This powerful account takes place during the Babylonian exile, a time when the Jewish people were captives in the mighty Babylonian Empire under the rule of King Nebuchadnezzar. The story begins with the construction of a colossal image made entirely of gold. This image, standing 90 feet tall and 9 feet wide, was a representation of King Nebuchadnezzar himself. The king, like many rulers of his time, had a tendency to demand absolute loyalty and worship from his subjects, viewing himself as a deity. At the sound of various musical instruments, all the officials, leaders, and people from various nations were required to bow down and worship the golden image. This act of submission and reverence was to be a display of allegiance to the king and his authority. However, within the vast and diverse assembly of those who bowed down before the image, there were 3 individuals who remained steadfast in their faith and conviction. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, 3 young Jewish men, were unwavering in their devotion to the one true God, Yahweh. They could not in good conscience bow down to an idol, as it contradicted the very essence of their faith and the first commandment that declared, "You shall have no other gods before me." The news of their refusal to worship the golden image quickly reached the ears of the enraged King Nebuchadnezzar. His reaction was swift and severe. Summoning the 3 men to his presence, he gave them an ultimatum: either bow down to the image or face the punishment of being thrown into a blazing furnace. The king challenged the young men with a rhetorical question, saying in the book of Daniel, chapter 3, verse 15, "And who is the God who will deliver you out of my hands?" Nebuchadnezzar, in his arrogance, believed that no God could save Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego from the impending doom. The response of the 3 men to the king's ultimatum revealed their extraordinary faith, resolve, and trust in the God they served. They replied with courage and conviction, as recorded in the book of Daniel chapter 3, verses 16 to 18. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, "O Nebuchadnezzar, we have no need to answer you in this matter. If this be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of your hand, O king. But if not, be it known to you, O king, that we will not serve your gods or worship the golden image that you have set up." These words exemplified a profound trust in their God, Yahweh. They believed that he was both able and willing to deliver them from the fiery furnace. However, even if God chose not to intervene, they were resolved to remain faithful and obedient to him, even in the face of death. Nebuchadnezzar's response to their unwavering faith was swift and severe. He ordered the furnace to be heated 7 times hotter than usual. The flames became so intense that even the mighty men who were tasked with casting Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego into the furnace were consumed by the fire's ferocity. As the 3 faithful men were thrown into the blazing furnace, a miraculous and awe-inspiring sight unfolded. Instead of perishing in the flames, they walked about in the midst of the fire unharmed. Nebuchadnezzar, astonished by what he witnessed, called for them to come out of the furnace. As Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego emerged from the furnace, it became clear that the fire had not harmed them in the slightest. Their hair was not singed, their clothes were not scorched, and there was no smell of fire upon them. The king, overwhelmed by the miraculous scene, acknowledged the power and majesty of the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He decreed that no one should speak against their God and declared their faith in Yahweh. Now, the enigmatic element of this story is the appearance of the mysterious 4th man within the furnace. When Nebuchadnezzar first observed the 3 men in the fire, he noted in astonishment that they were not alone. In the book of Daniel, chapter 3, verse 25, the king exclaimed, "But I see 4 men unbound, walking in the midst of the fire, and they are not hurt, and the appearance of the 4th is like a son of the gods." The identity of the 4th man remains a subject of theological interpretation and discussion. Some view this figure as an angel or a divine being sent by God to protect and comfort Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in their trial. Others interpret this figure as a pre-incarnate appearance of Christ, known as a Christophany, due to the divine attributes and presence displayed in this mysterious fourth person. Regardless of the interpretation, the presence of the fourth man symbolizes the assurance that God was with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the midst of the fiery furnace. It underscores the concept of God's abiding presence and protection in the face of trials and tribulations. The story of the fiery furnace is a timeless narrative that continues to inspire and captivate people from various faith traditions and backgrounds. It emphasizes the importance of unwavering faith and trust in God, even when facing seemingly insurmountable challenges. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego's unwavering trust in God, their readiness to face death rather than compromise their faith, serves as a powerful example of faith in action. This narrative also highlights the miraculous intervention of God in the lives of his faithful followers. The presence of the fourth man in the fiery furnace is a testament to God's protection, his power to deliver, and his abiding presence in the midst of trials. It reminds us that, even in the most intense fires of life, God is with us, shielding and delivering us from harm. In conclusion, the story of the fiery furnace is a testament to the power of trust in God's deliverance and the assurance of his presence in the midst of trials. It calls us to unwavering faith, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges, and serves as a timeless source of inspiration for generations, encouraging us to stand firm in our faith, knowing that God is with us in the fiery trials of life.